Oh, look at that. We got some charts. I'll tell you, if you're tuning in for the third time today, you must really love the Red Dog, so I appreciate you. Sorry that sometimes things go smooth and sometimes they don't. What do? You take a deep breath, roll the shoulders, and you move on. So I'm gonna try and do a quick little 6:30 club because you guys came back. Gonna give everybody one more minute. It's like I don't want to be like the boy who cried wolf, right? Anyway, here's a quick disclosure. My name is Scott Redler, Chief Strategic Officer at T3 Live. Today we're on the 7 o'clock version, take 3. And let's get to it because there are some setups out there and there's been a lot of good trading. So up and running, there we go. So this is the chart of the S&P cash. So remember when we were talking about this big cup and handle pattern when it was a big cup and then here is your handle and then it was, couldn't get through 4,200. Well, PS, the market hit a high of 44.88 yesterday. Wow. You take a close look at the actual chart because that's what we do. We kind of approach things on a micro besides a macro. And, it's been very methodical. Lots of different types of moves throughout the course of this sequence. First, it was just tech. Remember, everyone was like, oh, my God, only 6 stocks are driving all the gains. And then in early June, you had the small caps wake up. Energy got better. The industrials got better. Things broadened out. And then all of a sudden, you had lots of different stocks on the move, not just 6 or 7. And now, here we are making a high of 44.88. And after yesterday's CPI, a lot of people are saying the Fed has one left. Their war against inflation is over. A little too early to tell on that. We'll see how sticky it is in the coming months. But either which way, all I've been saying is, look for setups, not recessions, not tops, and not for what the billionaires are saying. Because they'll tell you all the risks in the stock market, but then they're fully invested. But you shouldn't be because it's too risky for you. It's good for them. But anyway, so let's get into what's happening. So basically IWM, wow. Another nice move. If you remember, I showed you guys the weekly chart showing you how, we could see at least, 196 to 199. Yesterday, it took out 189 with authority. So that would be the likely spot over time. XLE had a move. We rotated some money to Oxy, which has been really good. Remember, across that descending trend line. I don't think you missed the whole thing. Warren Buffett's been pretty much accumulating Oxy this entire time. Nice 3-day move. So if you're active, though, you have to figure out your time frame, or how many shares do you want. So again, every day I come in and I massage my positions. I've had a lot of options on because, when you go into something like the CPI, I don't love to have a lot of positions on. I like to have my risk defined by being in a lot of calls. So certain things that I think are still setting up. Okay, first one, if you remember, this was pretty good to us a month ago or so, and now it looks like it's setting up again. So let's get into Unity Software. It symbols U. Look at this channel here. Okay, if you remember when I was kind of beating the table on this, it was down here, and then you had that day that Apple said they were going to be in their VR set. You had a big move, and then we had to move up to 45, and then 3 times it failed here. Okay, woke up 2 days ago. Now I do think with a little inside action, this takes out 45, and then could see a move up towards 58. So right now I'm in options. I bought more options yesterday. The 45s for next week. I might go out another week. And today, perhaps, if it tries to get through there with volume, I might add to it. If you look at the weekly chart, it gives you a little bit of a different perspective. Remember when this was 196 or broke down at 86? Well, now you have a nice little bull flag here. They have AI, they have software, they have a bunch of good things going on. So I would think 55 to 58 for symbol U. Take a look at it. I'm in options. I might buy the stock today if volume's there and it can get and stay above 45. So that's something I'm looking at, and I've been trading it pretty well. Flip some gears to high beta tech. Meta was one of my biggest winners in the last 2 days. Why? Because it's been trending. Why? Because it poked its head above 298.12, okay, and gave you a really nice breakout move again as it's been holding the 8-day this entire time. I did sell mine yesterday. I did not reposition in, unfortunately, for another move today. I'm fine with it. 2-day trade like this, plus I did options. The options were like 100%, wasn't even an earnings play. That's that, it is what it is. What I do think you could still play is I'm long Amazon. Amazon's been a pain in the culo. You know what a culo is? Well, Amazon, shook the tree. It did get me out. It got me out. In this candle right here, it looked like it was going to break down, but it didn't. And now it seems like it's set up for another move here to clear 130, 185 and maybe see like 134 to 137. So Amazon still looks good. We'll see, can it actually hold today and go? Right now, Amazon is up $1.29. It's hanging here, right above this level. So if it could stay above this level for 30 to 60 minutes, perhaps finally you get into the move. And if you look here on the weekly chart, you will see that, you could probably bring this down here. You have a nice little bull flag. And I was thinking we can get to the 134, 137 area. So with that being said, it's always good to look at the weekly chart because you can see when you should have gotten out too. And then remember when it was at 109, I'm like, I think we can get to 120. Well, that was nice. And now seems like 134 to 136. So there's a setup there. Let's switch gears one more time because I got it. I'm running a little late. ARK looks much better. Tesla's still building. Tesla's going to need to prove that the deliveries were really strong, which they were, but it didn't cut into their margins. So if we're going to get a move in Tesla, you're going to have to take on some kind of option strategy for earnings, and earnings are next week. So right now, Tesla, I wouldn't overtrade Tesla. It's trying to build. It still looks good. I'm not going to move on. It does seem like if it delivers, you can get a move back into the 305 to 315 area, but it's going to have to get above 284.25 first. So anyway, like I said, with Meta, you had a nice move. Some guys were talking about RBLX. I haven't traded this in a long time. It's had a big channel. Some of these high growth, shorted names are doing better. I'm not in the stock yet. I'm in options. You had a decent move the other day. Yesterday, you had some inside action. So I would think that maybe it could take out 45 to see this 48 to 50 area. Nice consolidation here. These type of stocks are kind of working now. I don't love these kind of stocks, but you know what? It is what it is. Hey, what's up, buddy? How you doing? So I do think that in the mid cap high growth arena, I think RBLX, Unity, they could ignite. So watch them. Some guys are in shop. I feel like at high beta tech, you had your setup in Meta. Now it's just, I think today you have to trim into this. Amazon still looks good. Google's trying to rebuild. Apple's been a source of funds for the past week, meaning they had to rebalance, had to sell it, and money's gone elsewhere, which has been nice. So it's given us other setups. As far as another setup, remember yesterday I was like, NVIDIA's really tight. Well, NVIDIA's making my morning today because to me it was a good take home. Why? You had a day one out of a tight setup. So with that being said, it cleared 432. The great day trade yesterday if you took it. And I didn't want to miss if it was going to clear this 439.90 for more action after putting a nice little pocket pivot. So I'm long this overnight also. And, at this point, I would trim and trail. It's up almost $6, which is nice. You walk in, you take risk overnight. You know what? Sometimes you get rewarded. Sometimes you don't. Okay, remember last week I was pounding the table on Lucid to play catch up in the EV names. You know what? Thank goodness we have a tier system because we took some off before the deliveries yesterday. So I sold half my options prior to yesterday and stock. Unfortunately, the deliveries were a little light. So, my options lost money yesterday and I did get stopped out of the stock because, now it needs to rebuild. I had a nice move. We were talking about this in here. This is why you use a tier system. This is why you take some trades. Right here is when I started to focus on it. Bought some $8 calls. The $8 calls, by the time it hit 837, pretty much I think doubled and tripled. So I sold 25%, then another 25%, and then yesterday it came back in. So if it could hold here and kind of rebuild, maybe I would go back to the stock. But at this point, it's probably just not even worth your time. So you have to let it really hang in here and rebuild. Maybe get a red dog reversal, but it should not really be that much of a focus. Again, it happens. That's why, again, you book some money and you move on and say, okay. NEO is another one. Looks like it, it's heading towards a 200-day or more. You look at the weekly chart. China's been really strong. So I would think that there's room in NEO to come back up towards these moving averages, but we'll see. We'll see how long the market broadens out. We'll see the appetite for risk, et cetera, et cetera. AI. AI has been great. AI, I've made a lot of money on this year. It's good when a new stock comes into play. AI First I started getting involved in this at 14 because I knew the theme for the year would be AI. I'm like, why not play the stock that has a symbols AI? Had your first move, and then I remember I was long in here, and then Hindenburg or the bear cave came out, and boom, they did an overshot to the downside. Right here, it re-woke up. Nice, beautiful active sequence, and now it seems like it's still above the 8-day. It's still here. It's moving along. I would stay with it. It's up 50 cents today. It's a 40.70. I'd say as long as it holds this 40-ish area, I'd like to see a little bit more basing. Yesterday they sold strength. Some guys are pointing out that, hey, is this a head and shoulders top? Way too early for that. I think that the stock stays in the game, and I wanted to stay in the game because I like when you have a lead dog like AI, and then you have other AI type of stocks that pop up with day ones and big volume, etc., etc. So with that being said, the SPYs right now are opening at new highs on the year. Look at that, up $1.46. See if it holds yesterday's high. So if you go back to the SPYs, will the SPYs hold, above 447.41, or will it, come in and then we'll see kind of digest above this gap? Remember last time they shook the tree right here where there was that gap, and then this had to happen. Got a little sloppy, but anyway, we'll see how it does today. It is Thursday. You have the PPI. The PPI doesn't mean as much because the CPI already came out. There's been action in the XLE, and JP Morgan has earnings tomorrow. Remember, we had a good trade there. So I'm trying to just net money, stay safe, do things that you have to be out of your comfort zone a little bit. So with that being said, you're welcome, Ryburn. What's my focus? I'm going to see if I could add to Amazon today. I'm going to see, besides being in options on Unity and Roblox, can I add to the stock? I'll see how Tesla feels today. I'm not gonna go with Apple today. I'm not gonna chase Meta up 5. Doesn't mean it's an easy short, but Meta's trading up 314. You had your chance earlier in the week to buy it when it took out that 298 for another trade. So know how to enter and exit, because entries and exits matter. If you enter at the wrong time with too many shares, you're gonna get shaken out, and when it goes, you're gonna be upset, and you're going to be knocking your head against the wall, and it's not fun to knock your head against the wall. So anyway, Mara is unbelievable, guys. Mara, I gave to you guys at 10.20 right here. You remember this candle, the candle that launched all the those names? Well, Mara has been absolutely unbelievable, but the same way, you have entries and exits. When you're that extended from the 8-day, you are not starting a new position. This was the meaty spot. 10.20 was awesome. Okay, and then even through 13, and then Riot played catch up. Look at that. Boom, holy cow. Remember, it was so choppy in here, then whoosh. This needs some time now. And I also sold the rest of my coin yesterday. And again, this was your spot to get that 60 by 80 call spread, which I have on. And then on Friday, I was talking about buying the 82s for another move to the 87-ish area. And there you had it. So now we'll see if we get some inside action. Bitcoin is still just hanging around. As long as Bitcoin holds that 30,000 area, does seem like it's going to take out 31.4, but it just hasn't yet. So don't get lulled to sleep. But all in all, these things need a little bit of a break. And Bitcoin, at some point, it looks like it's going to get and stay above this 31.4 area and ignite another move to the 33 to 36 area, but it hasn't happened yet. So if you're in this actively, as long as it holds 29, stay with it. If you're accumulating Bitcoin every month, like I do in the S&P cash, long term, I do think it's a viable asset. It should be in your asset allocation plan. Anyway, I appreciate you. Sorry, had a little screw ups. It's not indicative of the day. Right now I better be careful because, when you get a little shot across the bow, like things not working, you get a little frustrated, but, I'm pretty relaxed. Cheers to you. Iced coffee time. And I got to do about 40 charts and get going, so I'm not late for the alpha team. And rather all